Hi, hello. I feel like we haven't talked in a minute and I'm nervous. Like I'm just like kind of nervous to be here. Whenever I don't make a YouTube video for a while, it feels like I'm coming back to like talk to an old friend and you wonder if like they're still gonna like you because you've like changed a little bit. I just needed a little break. I needed a month to like not be anything. I really feel in winter like I just need to slow down a little bit and prioritize the things that I absolutely need to get done because I don't have as many spoons as I usually do to disperse them into multiple different projects. So I kind of had to just take YouTube out of the mix for a little bit because it can be really consuming, and December comes, winter comes, and it's just this moment, and I think I'm getting better at this, but I really need to just take time to like remove the parts of myself that are not, when you're making a sculpture and you're just kind of removing the parts that are not the sculpture. That's kind of what I've been doing. I was working on a book the entirety of 2024 and I finally like finished it. Like obviously I'm still gonna go back and like move things around, probably do like little edits here and there. I feel a huge weight lifted off of my shoulder, and that was my goal, to finish the book before the end of the year. And I spent like the entire month of December just doing that pretty much. You know, in Little Women, when Jo's like, she's like in her attic and it's just lit by candlelight and she's like putting the pieces of her book together, like that's basically what December was for me, and it was actually quite wonderful. However, now I have to figure out how to get it published, which turns out is way harder than I thought it would be. Or not than I thought it would be, but almost as hard as it was to write the book, it is harder to get a publisher because now I've taken the control of the project. Like I'm putting the control in like someone else's hand. I've also been reading a ton, so I'm going to share with you later the books I've been reading and some of the books that I got for Christmas as well. But yeah, it's been a good month. I mean, it's been kind of hard actually. But I've been doing the things that I needed to do to get through it. Today is January 1st, and I really wanted to start vlogging again on January 1st, so that's what I'm doing. And I went to Barnes & Noble today, and there's this notebook, it's right here, and I've been eyeing this journal at Barnes & Noble for like the entire month. So I went today and got it because I was like, you know what, new year, new me, new journal. So I've just been journaling a little bit this evening for the first day of the year, and I wrote down some resolutions. I just put a bunch of quotes on the first page for some inspiration, you know. 2025 resolutions. Follow strange rabbits down strange rabbit holes. Publish my book. Travel more. Go to Paris. I'm going to Paris next month, by the way. Keep learning French. Read more, write more, consume less brain rot, get bored, destroy ego, paint the roses red. I hate when I'm vlogging and I'm like talking to the camera and then I want to like stop talking to the camera, and then I feel like I have to be like I feel like I have to say something before I stop filming. Like I feel like I have to like say something that transitions to the next clip, like when I'm editing, but like I don't need to do that. Like you guys are smart enough to like understand, like I don't need to verbalize that because you're gonna see it, right? So I'm gonna stop like over explaining myself in my vlogs and in my art. Actually, in general, I'm just gonna like do whatever it is I'm gonna do without feeling like I need to have everything like make perfect sense all the time, you know? I took this month off of filming too because I wanted to like change my approach to like making videos as well. So I've been thinking about these things a lot and like things I want to change, things I want to keep. And yeah, so there's going to be changes, but like of course there's going to be changes because that's the only way to move forward with anything. So I'm done talking. French notebook. My grandma was cleaning out her closet and she just had this notebook that was completely empty, so I took it. I've been taking my little notes for my online French class. I also got this pen in my stocking this year, and I think it's wonderful. Tu as un billet d'avion?
Valise.
Valise. Suitcase.
Espagnol.
Espagnol. Spanish. J'ai le passeport, la valise et le billet d'avion. Je vais en France.
Un passeport français.
Un passeport français. A French passport. Elle a un billet d'avion. She has a plane ticket, I think. Tu as une valise et j'ai une valise. You have a suitcase? I have a suitcase. My room is such a mess right now, and I think it's just going to have to be that way for this vlog. I am usually the kind of person that I feel like my room has to be clean before I literally do anything, and sometimes that can hinder me from getting other things actually done because I'm just like worried about the mess. They say that's actually a habit that a lot of women have in particular, because we just feel this like responsibility to clean everything all of the time and not being allowed to start like an art project before the dishes are done or before your room is clean. So I'm trying to like deprogram my mind a little bit to not feel like everything has to be perfect around me before I start expressing myself. I am, however, going to like rearrange and clean my room in a few days, probably just like for the new year. But that's gonna be like a full day dedicated project, and I just can't worry about it right now. I'm about to go out on a walk and take some pictures of trees. I wanted to do some like Polaroid photography with the trees because I've been so inspired by nature recently. Not just nature, but the trees in particular, and watching them shed their leaves has been very inspiring to me. I just look at them and I'm just like, yeah, that's literally me. That's literally me right now. They're doing what they need to do to survive, and I think it's very beautiful, so I wanted to do some tree photography today. This is my daily uniform. I will show you right now. I've been very simple with my clothing recently. I don't want to be defined by what I wear right now. So I've been wearing these like just basic long sleeve tops. I particularly like this one because, you know, the stripes are fun. And I've been wearing these like leggings pretty much every day. Very basic but comfortable, and I'll either wear these leggings or wear these like other black like work pants if I want to be a little bit more dressed up. I got these boots for Christmas from my mom, and I just love them so much, and I've been wearing them pretty much every day since I got them because it's been raining a lot here, so it's just kind of like perpetually muddy outside. Some days it's cold, some days it's not. It's a little bit chilly today, so I wore my coat. And this is actually a camera bag, which is perfect because I'm going to go take some pictures. So this is just kind of like the daily uniform right now. So Ecosysy is actually the sponsor of today's video. They have a wonderful selection of messenger bags, briefcases, and backpacks that I personally wear all of the time. And they actually just launched this camera bag, which I am so excited to show you guys. This is the Clara Vintage Shoulder Camera Bag. It's the perfect size. I bring my camera pretty much everywhere I go, and having a special bag for it makes it so much easier to carry around with me without worrying about it getting damaged while floating around in a larger bag. It's spacious enough on the inside to fit a larger camera, but it also comes with a Velcro divider, so you can easily fit two smaller cameras in or just divide your equipment up. It also has a perfectly sized front pocket that I can fit like my lip gloss and my phone and my cards in, and it has a back pocket as well, so it's super versatile. It also, this is really random, but it also has a little keychain, so you can put your car keys on here, which I find very helpful. I do a lot of photography and filming like in the woods and stuff, and I'm always afraid I'm gonna lose my keys, so if I can just put it on this keychain, I don't have to worry about it like falling out of my bag. It's these little details that Ecosysy has that makes them stand out, I think. They also sent me their new travel makeup bags and toiletry bags, which are so chic and perfect for all of my upcoming travels this year. I do have a discount code. It is just Romney10 for 10% off. Thank you so much to Ecosysy for sponsoring today's video. I thought I would take the last section of this vlog to share with you the books that I've been reading. At the beginning of December, I walked into a Barnes & Noble, and this was an amazing Barnes & Noble. Everything was set up perfectly. All of the books I wanted were just like right on display in front of my eyes, and there were so many books that I wanted to buy. But I was like, you know what? No. It's December. I have bought so many books this year, and I also had the knowledge of like, I'm probably gonna get books for Christmas, right? So I was like, I'm on a book buying ban until Christmas. I'm gonna go home, and I literally had to peel myself out of that Barnes & Noble because I was like, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna look at my bookshelf and pull all of the books that I purchased this year that I have not yet read. So that is exactly what I did. I read 6 books in December. First thing I read in December was Madame Bovary. This has been sitting on my shelf all year. It's been on my list forever, and this was an exquisite piece of literature. I loved it so much. This exact thing like literally almost happened to me. This translation is particularly good. This is the Norton Critical Editions translation. It was really like easy to consume. The world is so cruel and mundane, and I relate to her a lot in many ways. The next book I read in December was The Bell Jar, and I have read The Bell Jar before. It was a few years ago though, and I was ready for a reread. The fig tree analogy has been looming over me like this the entire year pretty much, and it's so interesting to like notice my different points of view from when I read it the first time a few years ago to when I read it now. I also read in November Sylvia Plath, The Woman in the Work, sort of an anthology about different people that knew her in her life, telling stories about her, and then it was also a critical analysis of her work. So reading that sort of helped me like understand her work a little bit more. I then read Animal Farm by George Orwell. I read 1984 this past summer, and I really wanted to start reading more of his books. I know pretty much everyone reads this in high school. I did not, however, so I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and read it. It's literally 141 pages, so I read it in like 2 days. I then read Walden by Henry David Thoreau. This has also been on my reading list forever. I've just been like putting it off. This is about a man that spent 2 years living in the woods by Walden Pond, which I have been to Walden Pond, so anytime I've like visited a place, I want to read like every piece of literature that has to do with that place. This was very, very interesting. It made me want to get into him and Emerson's philosophies a little bit more, so I started researching transcendentalism a lot this past month, like just watching lots of documentaries and all this kind of stuff. I've been trying to just like follow my like weird curiosities wherever they lead me. So then I read Self-Reliance and Other Essays by Ralph Waldo Emerson. There was like this whole like transcendentalism movement in this time period, especially there in Concord, and Louise May Alcott was also a part of this movement, who's like the author of Little Women, which is my favorite book. So I sort of was like connecting the pieces there and like seeing different motifs and ideas that are presented in Little Women that are presented in their work and their ideas as well. So those were like really interesting lines to connect. And one of the books that I got for Christmas was Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and I think this is probably the most phenomenal piece of literature I have ever read. It was amazing, so amazing. I was just so like in it when I was reading the story, and I got it for Christmas and I was like, this is a big book, you know, and I don't want to spend too long reading it because I had gotten other books, and I was like, I really want to read the other books I got, so I was like, I'm gonna finish it before the end of the year. So I pretty much spent that odd time between Christmas and New Year's with my nose inside of this book. So it's sort of a very dark and dreary time, but that's fine. I also got 2 other books for Christmas. My sister got me this Sylvia Plath poetry book. My brother also got me a Sylvia Plath poetry book. And it's quite interesting because this one is Sylvia Plath Selected Poems, and this was the one that her ex-husband Ted Hughes put together after she died. This features a lot of the same work, but this is the way she intended it for it to be published. So it's kind of interesting comparing these two, because you kind of see the ones that he decided to condense, and then you have this one, and then you get to see the broader scope of Ariel and like how exactly it was intended to be. I just so happened to go to Barnes & Noble 2 days after Christmas, and I was not planning on buying anything, but I walked in there and realized that they were having their big sale of the year on hardcovers, so everything was like a third off basically. And I was like, you know what, there's books on my list that I'm going to end up buying anyways. I might as well just get a few of them today because they're a third off. I got Didion and Babbitts. I'm really excited to read this. However, I do want to read more of each of their work before I read this particular book. So I will be patient and wait for this, even though I'm very excited to get into that one. So if you have any recommendations on their work and what I should read before I read this, definitely let me know. This is a book of Andy Warhol Polaroids, and I am like really into Polaroid photography, so I just wanted to get this. I am super duper inspired by his Polaroid photography, and this has just like a ton of pieces that I am absolutely just enamored with. One of my favorites and one that I really want to recreate is this picture of John Lennon. Very, very inspired by this book. I really want to get more photography books. And the last book I got, I've been seeing this everywhere, I've been wanting to read it forever, is The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin. I see like little quotes of this on Instagram like almost every single day, and I always screenshot them and favorite them. So I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and get this book. That is all the books that I've been reading. That's all the books that I got. I'm moving into the year 2025 slowly, and it's definitely going to speed up come like February, March, but I think I'm just gonna take January to just vibe it out and do the things that I need to do. I took this time in December, and I'm gonna try to kind of do the same thing in January, where I was really just slowing down and making it so that I didn't have to get as much things done. Almost made me want to get more things done, and it made me more inspired as well, because I sort of allowed myself to get bored, and I think it's really essential to allow yourself to be bored, because then you actually want to create things and try new things, and yeah, and you can kind of like inspire yourself, and I think that's lovely. Yeah, I'm trying to just like sit in silence more too, because I have this bad habit of like always watching YouTube videos, and I love YouTube, but like I literally always have a YouTube video playing, like a podcast, something, and it's just like always noise. And I'm trying to just like go throughout my day and just have moments where I'm just doing things in my room and it's just like silent in the background, because I think you can listen to yourself a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna end off the video here. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!